Against the Ropes podcast.
Against the Ropes, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. AtR podcast Against the Ropes. We are back. Chris, controversial week. I don't even know where to begin, but we're back. We took a little week off, but of course we had to come back, address this controversy. Chris, welcome back.
Man, no, welcome back to everybody. You know, obviously, like you mentioned, a big controversy over the weekend. This is one of those fights, you know, we have our biases. This is one of those weekends I was looking forward to seeing the champ in action. And, man, where to begin? Man, I saw that image on the screen, Gio, and I seen our boy Usyk on the floor, you know, with his face a little bit perplexed. So that is the story of the night, man. Give me your thoughts, Gio. Give me your thoughts on what transpired in Poland this past weekend.
Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Mad Dog H checking in. Hey, man. That man right there to your left was able to stop Alexander Usyk, defeated Alexander Usyk, then proceeded to quit. That's all I can say for now. Chris, I can't wait to hear what you got to say. Obviously, you are a big Usyk fan. You came out here a couple weeks ago. You said, I'm willing to bet the house on Usyk. He's not losing to anyone. I said that's dangerous. This is the heavyweight division. Anything can happen. Never thought he would get stopped by a body shot, Chris, by a body shot. I thought Dubois maybe was going to be able to catch him upstairs, but wow, that body shot really came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming, and guess what? Usyk didn't see it coming either. He wasn't prepared, took it. Luckily for him, referee called it a low blow. But he was not going to get up, man. He was not going to get up. Chris, what are your initial thoughts?
Damn. Well, like you said, you mentioned it. You know how I feel about Usyk. I think he's one of the most talented guys on the planet. Like I said before, he's in my opinion, he was unbeatable. The only one that kind of makes me think he didn't have a chance was against a guy like a Tyson Fury. And for what transpired this weekend, and we've said it again, doesn't matter if they're our favorites. It doesn't matter, how we feel. We got to keep it real. And in my opinion, Usyk lost this fight. And you said it. I would bet the whole house, man, that the ref saved me from losing my house. Like, that's what that ref did. That punch, even though it could have looked low to some people, it felt low to Usyk. You've seen the pictures. You've seen the replays. To me, it was legal. It was close, but it was legal. And Usyk, obviously we've seen in the past, he does not take body shots well. In my opinion, he was gifted, that miscalculation by the ref. And even though like you said, Daniel Dubois, he folded, he quit at the end. We saw Usyk's, why he's a champion. He just kept coming, even though he was getting hit to the body. But, yeah, in my opinion, Dubois should have been walking away with a huge upset, with a huge shocker. He should be the heavyweight champion of the world right now.
All right. I am shocked right now. I am as shocked as Usyk. We'll address the comments right now. There's some comments about Nico Ali Walsh, who took his first loss. Big Bro saying it was a low blow. We'll read that in a little bit. Derek saying, shout out to Derek saying he lost his house. Man, come on, Chris, you're out here giving bad advice. What's going on, man?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Derek. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, look. Derek, was it Derek? No, it was Mad Dog H. Mad Dog says it's weird how the ref actually gave Usyk extra time. Even Usyk wanted to fight. The ref was like, no. So, look, I'm going to play that clip that I posted on Instagram, Chris, that story. Amir Khan against Zab Judah. Amir Khan essentially landed that same punch on Zab Judah. Referee called it legal, and Khan stopped Zab with that punch. Of course, Zab and company protested that outcome. We're not happy with the referee, but HBO crew, it looked like they agreed with the stoppage. All right, we'll get into that right now, and I'll play that audio and all that. But low blow, yes or no, Chris? Was it low? Was it not? Simple yes or no.
Was it low? From certain angles, it looks like it started off low, but it ended like right on the spot. So that's again, it's tough. But my thing, I think I have a problem with fighters, and this is regardless if I like them or not, if I'm a fan of them or not. I'm not a fan of the fighters having their belt lines high. That's where it makes it very tricky. That's where it makes it very. There should be a rule in place where like this is where you got to keep it, regardless if you like to wear, high top pants during your day. No, when we're in the office, when you're boxing, there's got to be like a standard for where you have it. And a lot of these fighters, they put the belt lines or shorts a little bit high so they could, not get hit to the body. So yeah, for me it was a legal punch.
Man, I don't even know where to begin, man, because obviously after this, all the memes came. They photoshopped Usyk wearing his trunks all the way up to his chin. They also posted a lot of clips of Usyk doing this before. Now, I don't know what clips you saw, Chris, but I saw two very interesting ones. One, against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua landed a similar punch. Referee called it a low blow. Usyk took his time, recovered, continued fighting. I think it was the AJ first fight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I saw another clip where he actually was dropped by a similar punch, and it counted. The referee started counting. Usyk thought he was going to call low blow. Once he saw him counting, he got back up and continued to fight. So this is something that Usyk has done in the past. Big Bro calls it a veteran move. It's smart. Hey, if the referee gives you time to recover and then adds aggregate time, like if it was a football match, Chris, he said, no, you know what? Take an extra minute. You took your 4, you took your 5, extra time, extra minute. That we're going to address as well. But, yeah, I think those two clips that I saw of Usyk taking that similar punch and reacting the same way those both times, actually the one against Joshua, it was that same referee. So I know people were upset at that. So this happened in the fifth round. Obviously for, those guys, those people who didn't watch the full fight, fifth round, Usyk took 4 minutes to recover. Chris, I never saw him touch his private parts. Did you?
Dude, I think about that, but no, he didn't. It did not. And again, people know that I'm a huge Usyk fan. I will be this guy's lawyer. I will back him till the end, until I see fit otherwise. And this was it. Like, again, I don't think it was a low blow. I think if the ref doesn't say that, if the ref calls it, yeah, knockdown. I see Usyk getting up at the 8-9 count. He's a champion. He's gonna get up. He's gonna have to find a way to survive. But like you said, Gio, the ref, gave him a little cushion. He gave him a little. I think even Usyk wanted to get up at the 4-minute mark because come on, inside he knew it wasn't a low blow. He's like, let's go, let's even things out.
Yeah, now he came out and said it was a low blow, right? I think they asked him about Dubois' power, and he said, I didn't feel it. To be honest, I just felt it on my balls. All right. So, he was kind of messing around with it a little bit too, but man, there's so much to unpack here, Chris, and I'm still very shocked that you are agreeing with most people that are saying this is a low blow. I'm actually shocked. I was ready to come on here and have a crazy debate like we did with Errol Spence and Crawford. But wow, it looks like even though
Hey, keep
you're a
it real.
Usyk fan, hey, there's some sense there, Chris. You're making sense here.
Yeah, keep it real. Let's just say I'm kind of in a sense happy though that Dubois didn't win, because I'm not happy that he folded and he pretty much, I don't want to say quit, but he succumbed to all that pressure. He saw that he hurt his opponent to the body. He should have kept digging. That would have been Dubois' best chance. But yeah, he should have been a champion. But I'm kind of glad that he didn't win at the same time, because I compare him to a Buster Douglas. He would have just lost the championship the next fight. But at the end of the day, he deserves to be world champion. He would have done something that not many people expected, and in my opinion, he beat him by hitting to the body and Usyk not getting up before the 10 count.
All right. Now, Mad Dog says, question is, should they run it back? Chris, I would say yes, but Dubois quit, in my opinion. What do you think?
Right. Yeah. They should run it back. I think just the fact that he didn't walk away as a champion, he should at least get that bag. If you don't get the title, at least give him that second bag, the second biggest payday of his career. So, yeah, he did a rematch. Obviously, I think what we know what's going to happen. Usyk is going to obviously not make that same mistake. This fight is going to end without this happening, this controversy. But yeah, I think they should run it back, but don't expect this lightning to happen twice.
All right, and let's address this. Let's address the referee, because one of the rules that I do not like is, we see this a lot in boxing. When someone gets hit low, the referee always kind of pushes the fighter to continue fighting, right? They encourage them to keep fighting. And I never liked that, because I said, man, the guy just got hit below the belt. It obviously hurts. You're not feeling this pain. You're trying to push them to keep fighting. That's an advantage for the guy, in my eyes, who gave the low blow, right? But I have heard referees say that that's what they're taught. They're taught to encourage the fighter who got hit low to continue fighting, right? To not take such a long time to recover, And at the end of the day, I feel like most fans kind of like that, keep the action going. A lot of times they boo when a guy takes too long to recover, right? In this case, the referee did the complete opposite, Chris. 4 or 5 minutes, Usyk said, I'm ready. The guy said, no, take some extra time. Usyk says, no, let's go. He said, no. You're not going to fight right now. Take your extra minute. That's the part that I didn't like, because, look, you can make a mistake live. It happened quick. It was on the belt line. I think at that point, the referee has to make their best judgment, and the referee decided, hey, that looked a little low. I'm going to call it low. That's fine to me. Whether you think it was a mistake or not, I think it happened very quickly. But when you allow Usyk to recover and he says he's fine and you're telling him to take more time, that to me didn't sit well, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. I see where refs can kind of give their 2 cents on, like, you got the whole 5 minutes, but it's usually just that. You just give, like, the option. But once the fighter makes that decision, you got to honor that fighter, whether it's in his best interest or not. I think at that point, I would have respected that ref a little bit more. Like, okay, like you said, you made a mistake. Maybe Usyk took advantage of that mistake and said, like, oh, I'm going to use this time to recover. But then Usyk is a fighter. He's a proud fighter. He doesn't want to alienate his fans. So once he said, I'm back in, let him go. We'll respect Usyk more. Like, hey, that was not your tactical mistake. That was a rest mistake. But you're showing us that you want to come back and keep fighting. So, like, me as a Usyk fan, that he took that extra minute, even though he wanted to, I'm like, damn, buddy, you're making me lose. Like, you lost those points for you, But aside from this controversy, man, he showed his grit, why he's a champion. He shut down Dubois. And again, I want to give more props to Dubois, because, I mean, he deserves a little bit more, but I just didn't like how he ended the fight, man.
Yeah, and bad for Usyk, right? This kind of overshadows his performance. He didn't look spectacular, but I think the fight was never in question. people in the chat calling Dubois a quitter. I think he did quit. I think he was doing better than he even thought, right? I think he had a good chance in this fight. He obviously has a ton of power. He's one of the heavy hitters in the heavyweight division. He's a big guy. He wasn't fighting bad. So I was that left a bad taste in my mouth too. And that's why I wouldn't mind not seeing the rematch, right? Because the moment was there, Daniel Dubois. And to me, he didn't capture it, Chris. He let it slip. Like Eminem said, that was his moment. He was doing well in the fight. He landed that big shot on Usyk. He could have landed something else. He was doing good body work, right? Maybe that would have opened something upstairs. But to me, he didn't take that risk. Took the easy way out, took his millions, went back home, and even Usyk was trying to motivate him there at the end. Daniel Dubois looked very disappointed. Very classy by Usyk, saying, "Hey, man, you're young. You can still do this, you know. Dare to dream. You're a good fighter. Continue going, you know." Very classy by Usyk. But at the same time, you know, I don't agree. I don't agree that it was low. I think it's debatable. I'm not mad at you if you think it was, but I don't feel bad for Dubois for that reason. The moment was there, and he let it slip.
Yeah, that's an Eminem right there. But I think just based on that controversy, and I think based on Usyk having to right whatever wrong controversy, I think he has to give him a rematch. And I think this time he has to obviously protect that body and not let that happen again. And you know, I think Dubois does deserve a rematch. Not based on the fact that people think he can win second time around, but just I don't want to say a robbery, but like borderline there. You know, I think you deserve a rematch just based on that. So yeah, and do we want to see Usyk go back to pre-controversy? Yeah, I think he deserves to kind of clean this fight with a rematch. So do I expect a competitive match? No, but I would like to see this thing kind of close the chapter. So Usyk has to run it back, unfortunately.
Well, let's go to some comments here. You got to remember the entire event was under Usyk Promotions, says Jesus. So, look, the reason why this fight was in Poland, they mentioned it during the broadcast, is there's a lot of Ukrainian refugees who fled, obviously, the country. They're having a war, and a lot of them fled to Poland. So there's a lot of Ukrainians in Poland, and so, you know, good reason to, you know, bring the fight there. A lot of Ukrainians, give them some hope, give them some entertainment, let them watch the champion, their champion, right? So it made sense. Obviously, the crowd was pro-Usyk. Everything was pro-Usyk. The only thing I would say that wasn't pro-Usyk was the rain. Chris, it was raining a lot. That ring was very wet. That canvas, both guys were kind of slipping a little bit. So that was a little tough for both guys. But, you know, everything was in favor of Usyk. The referee, you know, I don't think Usyk needs that. I think he's a great fighter. He doesn't need all that to defeat Daniel Dubois. I think if they fight, he defeats him 9 times out of 10. You know, Dubois obviously is the heavyweight division. Anything can happen. Dubois can catch anyone, but Usyk is a great boxer. He didn't need all this. And, you know, if they get it on again and then he beats Daniel Dubois easily, then okay, this kind of erases that off people's minds. But for now, I'm sure it's not going to sit well in the eyes of a lot of people, Chris. And like I said, if you guys see the pictures, Usyk was literally sitting there for minutes, never touched his private parts. He was breathing hard. It didn't look like someone who got hit in the private parts. It didn't look like someone who got hit low. It looked like someone who took a hard body shot and was paralyzed. Chris, he tried to get up. If you guys watch the video again, he tried to get up after about 15 seconds. And guess what happened? He couldn't.
Yeah.
So he stayed down, right? And he proceeded to breathe, take deep breaths. Even when he got up, hand was on the rope. He took one step. He was taking his time. So it looked like someone who was just paralyzed from a body shot. Now it starts to get a little tricky when it's time to talk about what is a legal punch and what is not, right? Clearly, he didn't get hit low. All right. That belt line was pretty high. He didn't get hit in the nuts. He didn't get hit on the dick, Chris. I'm sorry. Just to put it blunt like that, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, let's for me, for all the experience that Usyk has, like, number one thing that you learn when you're a kid, if it hits anywhere near the area, you just go and cover it. You even if it didn't hit, you exaggerate. You go like, oh, that's the first thing you protect. You protect the family jewels. You make it seem like it hit you. Like you said, he didn't do that. To me, that's a great point that you brought up. That's the first thing you do. Again, when we think of low blow shots, we know where it hits. We know how low those hands have to be for it to hit. That was not the case. So, yeah, again, I know there's people that are going to say that it was legal. When it's illegal. But the fact that that people are like, oh, maybe was it not? Just that fact tells you you got to take that part of the illegality out because it's in doubt. But having said that, man, again, I want to talk Tyson Fury. I want to talk about other guys that he should be fighting. Ooh. But for him to run it back, he has to really cement this one, because in a lot of people's eyes, that other guy that did not win a single round is a champion. That's the thing with boxing. Wow. You don't have to win all these rounds. All you have to do is get a knockout or, get a count out, and you've done the task. So even though Dubois, in my opinion, his levels below Usyk has layers and layers to his game. He's got 5 gears. That one gear that Dubois did was enough to beat him, in my opinion. But that was a little Hail Mary. That's what boxing is, and you got to run it back, man. You got to close this chapter and do it right.
Dubois didn't even deserve the title shot after quitting against Joyce a couple of years ago, says Big Bro. Having the WBA regular BS belt, no rematch, is a waste of time. Chris is on crack. He says, this is boxing, not ballet or dancing, like Usyk said. Take that sentimental stuff somewhere else, Chris, says Big Bro. He's throwing haymakers right now. Those are close. Those are right around the belt line, Chris. If you're a referee, do you allow those or do you let them go? Ultimately, is up to the referee. If you're the referee, do you consider those low? Do you let those slide?
I would remind whoever sent those shots, like, hey, pick them up. Hey, but I would be real. I will be the ref to tell the fighters, hey, these are too high. Like, no homo stuff, but I'm pulling them down a little bit. Like, hey, make my job easier. Yeah. Like, let's keep it real. Let's keep these shorts like at a understandable kind of height.
Let's stay there.
Like you said, I've seen these guys have I didn't even know about the whole belly button thing, but it makes sense to keep that thing below your belly button so you know where it's at. Like,
let's stay there. ESPN crew mentioned that the referee did not mention anything about trunks during the in-ring instructions. Now, obviously, we don't know what they spoke about behind closed doors in the locker rooms, but they did mention in-ring. He didn't mention anything about what's legal and what's not. Usually you hear the referee saying, hey, this is a little high. If the shot is here, that's legal, or put those down a little bit more. Ultimately, it is up to the referee. Mad Dog says maybe it was cold, and when it's cold, the family jewels go up to the garage, and that's why the ref called it a low blow. He says, hey, he has a point there, but let me play that clip of when Amir Khan stopped Judah with that body shot. Emmanuel Stewart, by the way, thought it was a little low, and your boy Letterman said this.
A shot that hits you, at the belly button or above is a legal punch. Now, I dare Emmanuel Stewart to tell me where Zab Judah's belly button is. You don't know because it's being covered by the waistband. Therefore, the shot should be legal, no doubt about it.
All right, so he was very adamant. I don't know if you guys were able to hear that clearly, Chris.
Yeah.
He was saying usually belly button and up is good. Below that, low blow, right? He says, look, we couldn't tell where Zab Judah's belly button is because his trunks are so high. Therefore, you have to consider that a legal blow. Right?
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Right? Makes sense to me. But once that belly button is covered by that protector, I guess it's up to the referee to decide what is a little low, what is not. I know Big Bro said the shot was like an uppercut, so it started a little lower. The contact started a little lower, then came up. You know, it was close, man. It was close. I think I'm not too upset at the referee's decision, but I am upset that he gave him so much time to recover. Like I said, he didn't watch a replay. He didn't watch a replay and decide, hey, this is too low. He had to make a decision on the fly, on the go. Shot was quick. He was on it. If you watch the pictures, referees right next to them. So I'm sure it was a tough decision, but yeah, I think the fact that he got so much time to recover and then extra time, that's the part that did it for me. Now, thoughts on your end by what we heard by the HBO crew?
I agree with them. Again, it's hard when you know, obviously the barometer is the belly button and under, right? That's what's understood. When it's covered, when they're too high, it goes down to the discretion of the ref. And once again, we must understand refs are human. They're gonna make mistakes. It makes their job harder. It makes it trickier to tell you like if it's so or not based on your belly button being covered by the high shorts. So to me, those are very similar shots. Like the where I think you did a side by side. It's very close. It looks like a very similar shot. To me, like it seemed like it wasn't. That one was fair. It was a close. I mean, there's moments where it's close. We must admit there's moments where it comes close. But again, it doesn't help your case when your shorts are high. There should be a standard for where the shorts should go up, so people could so refs can make more educated, a little bit more accurate decisions. So, in my opinion, these were both fair shots, close but fair. But yeah, it's tough, dude. It's tough. Again, that there's got to be a standard for where those shorts are at.
All right, well, let's talk about the fight itself. Usyk was in control of the fight. Landed some big shots on Dubois, dropped him a couple times, and to me, Dubois quit. After he took that right, he was literally on one knee. Didn't look too shooken up. He looked fine. He even said he could continue. He said, I was reading an article before this. I didn't hear it come from his mouth, but the article said that Dubois stated that he was good to continue, that he didn't quit, that he looked at his corner, they told him to wait and then get up. And he said that's what he did and that he was good to continue. Look, he quit before. He quit against Joe Joyce. So in my eyes, he should have gotten up if he really wanted to.
Yeah. One of the things that we knew coming in was that Daniel Dubois seems to fade out in the later rounds. Obviously, boxing is a tough sport. Not everybody has that same engine when you start round one that when you're in round 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. We knew that was coming in, and you could kind of see him fading towards the end. I've said it before. Usyk has 5, 6, different tools in his bag. Dubois is more one-dimensional, maybe two kind of fighter, two tools in the shed. He was just getting mauled down by all these tools that Usyk was throwing him, and he started to succumb to it, and that's why I'm not too. I can't defend Dubois the way someone should defend somebody that deserves to win a title, because he just don't want to say give up, but yeah, something along them lines where he just succumbed to the pressure. You already won that title. Believe that, like, throughout that fight, even though that one thing you're doing is not as much as the 5 things that this other guy's doing, that one thing is good enough. You saw him, it dropped your opponent, keep digging. So I was a little disappointed that Daniel did not muster up that one thing he was doing good and succumb to the pressure of the champ.
Mad Dog says, yeah, he quit. Sean checking in. Shout out to Sean from Just Boxing. We'll go through some comments here. I know we're kind of going in here, so But we'll rewind back to the comments. Chris, obviously, you like Usyk very much. You're very feel.
I'm very feel. And he was really feel too. He just didn't show it.
In your eyes, does he look more vulnerable now? A couple weeks ago, you were saying this guy's not losing. I'm willing to bet the house. Are you still willing to bet the house on Usyk?
I'm still betting the house, but you know, I'm gonna have some insurance or some backup plan. He doesn't look as unstoppable as he once did, in my opinion. Obviously, the body shots are there. Nobody takes him well, but you know, we can tell that that's the one thing he wants to stay away from. You know, from his opponents. Some guys can take headshots. Some other guys can take body shots. I think that's his Achilles heel, and nobody has really done that because of his offense and his ring IQ and his skills. But this has to give Tyson Fury some added motivation to stop doing reality shows and to get back in the ring and to do what he believes he can do. I think this makes that fight a lot more interesting. You know, I think Usyk and Tyson are the two best boxers, not just of this era for heavyweights, but maybe since Ali. You know, like I really believe that. So let's see what happens, man. Again, it's a lot close. It's a lot tougher now for Usyk, in my opinion. Where I favored him highly now, I'm like, maybe we shouldn't be betting so soon. But I still think he's got the goods to shock us some more.
Big Bro says he did what many boxers do when they quit. They get up after the 9 count. They get up after the 9 count and act like they want to continue when they really don't. True story.
He's talking
about Dubois.
He's
talking about Dubois. He said he did what many boxers do is get up after the 9 count and act like they want to continue when they really don't. That's exactly what Dubois did. You know, he got up and pretended like he wanted to continue. But, Chris, let me go to some comments here. That shot, this is actually comments from the boxing world. So, first one is, that shot landed on the belt. Perfectly legal, in my opinion. Josh Taylor. He also added, that was a body shot nowhere near his balls. It basically landed on the belly button, which the protector was covering. He says body shot. He's also British, so you got to take that into consideration. Lou DeBella says that blow was very, very borderline. And caps, very borderline. The more I watch it, the more it looks like a good belt line shot to me. Certainly not your typical quote-unquote shot in the balls. As great as Usyk closed the show, he got away with one, says Lou DeBella. Dan Raphael was defending, actually, Usyk, saying it was low. He says, Dubois, quote-unquote, I was cheated out of victory. When they asked about the low blow, he says, sore loser. He also quit. That was Dan Raphael. Leon Beefy Smith, who's fighting this weekend, the rematch against Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank Jr. says it was low. Whether his protector is high or not, it's just below waistline, he says. Usyk milked the time he was allowed, but no one can answer whether he stays down if the ref counts it. So he was saying it was low. Also British, by the way. But he was on Usyk's side. Every boxer right now thinking Daniel Dubois should be world champion, says Sonny Edwards. And, of course, Daniel Dubois after the fight says, I didn't think that was a low blow. I've been cheated out of a victory tonight.
I was going to bring up my next point. I was going to say I cannot stand somebody that talks like that. You know, it's just I would first start saying, you know what, respect to Usyk. He's a great fighter. Probably beat me every single round. Probably beat me rounds 1, 2, like all those rounds. But that one round that I beat him, I put him down, and I kept him down. You know, I should be a champion, but respect to that man. He beat me thoroughly, but I put him down 10 seconds or more. If you're gonna just straight out say, I beat him without, acknowledging everything else that happened, you come off as a sore loser for sure. But yeah, that gives me a bad taste in my mouth for Dubois because again, he got thoroughly outclassed, he got thoroughly outbeat. Like people mentioned in the comments, it's a controversial fight for sure. And that makes it interesting to run it back, whether it's competitive or not. But I like to watch it back. Why not?
Better than fighting an MMA guy, in my opinion. But see, Chris, when I was reading the list of these heavyweight fights, you weren't too enthused. You were saying, man, these are not the fights I want to see. But look, this is why I like to see everyone fight against everyone, because you never know. You never know what can happen in boxing. But let's go to some comments here. Big Bro says many boxers and analysts say it was borderline and it was up to the ref's interpretation. So I'm glad the champ got the benefit of the doubt, especially when the challenger was losing every round. Now, Chris, if Usyk was Dubois and Dubois was Usyk, in other words, if Usyk lands that blow, do you think the referee calls it a low blow?
Oh, you know the answer to that. You know that the ref is going to call that fight. It was clean. It was legal. We're in Poland. Look at all these Ukrainian people. I'm not going to make them sad. No, it's a Usyk promotion. I didn't even know he had a promotions company, but if it's the ref is going to keep the in-house people happy. They're going to call me back to do another fight. They're going to add me a little bonus on my AtR account. He knows what he's doing. So, no, to answer your question, the same thing would not have happened for Usyk.
Chris, hey, I'm trying to give the referee and everyone the benefit of the doubt. Chris straight up saying nope. Man, I'm still shocked. Chris. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, like I said, we keep it real, man. We keep it real on this podcast. I love Usyk, and I love what he did. Outside of that, I like how he stayed composed. I like how that championship pedigree came out. What he did to a bigger fighter, like that kind of made me like, okay, this is why he's that guy. It's just that one little thing that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's it. But other than that, he did what a champ is supposed to do. He stepped on the gas pedal. He beat the bigger guy down. Smaller guy, more skills, more fundamentals. Even though he went through that whole body shot, like he showed why he's a champ. Like again, I'm proud to support a guy like that. It's just that he took that body shot, which in my opinion was legal, and he was down for more than 10 seconds. I would have wished it would have been like, I know it doesn't happen in real life. Like I know if somebody gives you a break in a moment like that, you're gonna take it. But I would have respected him more if he gets up and like, hey, no, it was legal. Let him take a point. I'll dig through this, but it's boxing. It's not a game. It's tough. So. It is what it is.
Elder's always coming out swinging, says, guys, it was legal. We all know now Usyk has a very soft tummy like a puppy. Coming out swinging. All right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody likes to take body shots, man. I've taken some body shots before with protector. It's no joke. It's not fun. So until you're in there, you won't know how you would react if that happens. So I'm sure Usyk was disappointed that he took the shot, but he's like, hey, shit, somebody bailed me out. Let me take this. Let me take these 4 minutes. And then the ref's like, oh, I'll give you another minute. He's like, all right, I'll take another minute. But, it's controversy, man. Controversial for sure. But we'll see what happens. Do you think they run it back, dude? Do you think there's enough controversy where Dubois gets a rematch? Or do you think the powers that be, do you think the promoters, do you think they're like, you know what, one and done, let's move on to bigger things? What do you think happens in the next 6 months?
I think it's a possibility, man. I think especially with Fury, doing his own thing, with some of the other top guys trying to get it on. It seems like Wilder and Reese are still trying to get that fight together. I can see that. I don't think there's many names out there for Usyk right now. Everyone wants to see the fight with Fury. So if that fight doesn't happen with Fury, I can see it happening. They made it happen once. I think they can make it happen again.
And what did you think of your boy Lomachenko in attendance, supporting his countrymate? You like seeing Loma out there?
Always. They have a good friendship. I'm sure he was worried. I'm sure he told Usyk, "Whoo, you dodged the bullet there, buddy. You were very field.
Big boy.
You were very field during those 4 minutes."
Yeah, there was some controversy. I don't know if you heard you. There was some controversy with Lomachenko being out there. People were obviously in the Twitter sphere, the X sphere, saying like, "What's he doing down there?" He said he wasn't available for Shakur. That's why that fight didn't get made, because Loma's supposed to be over there with the troops. What did you think of? I don't know if you heard about that controversy, but what are your thoughts on people in the Twitter sphere saying stuff like that?
No, I didn't hear it, but man, he can't take a break to go watch his friend. Dang, that's crazy.
For real. I'm like, my country is getting torn apart. The heavyweight of the world is from my country. Yeah, I'm gonna go support. Fuck y'all.
That's crazy.
We can cuss because we can curse a little bit. Next couple days.
He's there for 199 days, but that one day that he's not there, they want to crucify him for it. That's crazy.
I think he was wearing his little fisherman hats like he likes to wear. That was comedy. I don't know if you've seen those little fisherman hats that Loma wears. Oh, yeah. Man, he was out there. I was like, oh, yeah, that's Loma. That fisherman hat.
We got some comments coming in. Jesus says, business of boxing does it again. Eldest says, after this, I'm sure Fury sees no danger in Usyk and the other top guys waiting in line to pass him around. Woo, coming out swinging. That's not what happened here, says Big Bro. Nobody knows that Usyk was going to stay down if the ref started the 10 count.
Where do you rate the chances now between Fury and Usyk based on this performance, Gio? Is it?
I think it gets higher.
Where do you have it?
Yeah, I think before I was like at 25. Now I'm probably up there at like 60%. I think it might 25%. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I misunderstood. But what I was answering is I had given it like a 25% chance of it actually happening. Now, after this, I think there's like a 60% chance that we get it. But look, I've always said I think Fury defeats Usyk and everybody else in the heavyweight division. The dude is just an anomaly, 6'9". He's a giant. He can punch. He can box. He can clearly take a punch. He took a punch from the biggest puncher of this era, fought him 3 times, and toyed with him in reality. So I don't think anybody beats Fury. And as far as percentages go, I would say I would favor Fury with like a 70% chance of beating Usyk. 70-30. 70-30, Chris. Hit him to the body. Practice those body shots. Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill, get them body drills ready.
That's more disrespectful than freaking the hate that we had towards freaking Fulton.
Let's go, mate. Let's go, mate.
70?
70%.
70? Oh my goodness.
Bet the house and the car on it, Chris.
Man, I thought you were gonna say like 60-40. I would have been like, okay, I can see that.
7-0, Chris. 7-0.
Well, let me say, first of all, like I'm not mad that you have Tyson Fury as a favorite. I'm like you said, this guy's 6'9". He's beat guys, that dominated the heavyweights for decades in Klitschko. He's beaten guys that nobody wants to fight, and one-punch knockout artists like Wilder. He has the most names in this division. Cannot take that away. But we have another anomaly, a small guy that's doing things to bigger guys based on skills alone. And yes, Tyson Fury is a very skilled boxer, but you cannot just discount Usyk just like that. 70-30 is disrespectful. 60-40 I would have given you, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. I'm just glad that your percentage of the chances of this fight happening have gone up. Because I agree with that. That's the one thing I will agree with. Tyson's going to be like, all right, I can cook. I can cook this bloke. So hey,
Let's go, man.
whatever needs to happen to make this fight happen, I'm good for it. I said it before in the podcast. The only ones that have let me down this year have been the heavyweights. Everybody else has done their work. The lightweights, the welterweights, the super middleweights, man. Everybody's been cooking except the heavyweights. So if they were to somehow make this fight happen in early 2024 or even surprise us late 2023, man, I'll be happy.
Let's go, mate.
Let's get it.
Let's go, mate. We're definitely betting in that fight, Chris.
Oh, I'll definitely.
We might
I'll
have
be
to...
okay. I'll be okay with betting on this fight, man. It'll make the fight interesting. And we're not betting men mostly. We won't promote that too much. But yeah, man. When something arises where we both are like, okay, let's do it. You got your guy. I got my guy. Let's see what happens. That makes it more interesting. But
You're still favoring Fury, right?
Fury?
You're
over Usyk?
Yes.
I have it now. I have it like 60-40 after this. I think I used to have it like 62, for Fury, but now 60-40 for Tyson. But hey, I think my boy can pull it off, man. I will give you an official as we get closer when they decide to get it on. I think it does happen. I think eventually we do get it. It's just a matter of how long they make us wait for it. But I think there's nobody really left, unless like the only reason this fight does not happen is if Tyson decides to like retire for good. But it happens. It's just how long they're gonna make us wait.
Comment here. Elda says, "Did you guys see Usyk as agile and fast as Joshua won? I kind of saw him slow and heavy." He says, "I don't know. I think every fight is different, especially in the heavyweight division. And I think that the rain did play a part as well. Both guys, it seemed like they didn't look as comfortable moving around the ring. I mean, not like Dubois is going to hop around the ring like Muhammad Ali, right? But he looked very stiff. Both guys just being very careful. That's just kind of what I saw, my opinion. I don't think Usyk got a little heavier, got a little slower. I don't know. I may be wrong, but that's just from what I saw.
Yeah, I saw him with a less bounce in his step. I think I see what he means.
Hey,
I did see him with a slower step, but not like aging overnight slow.
That big body shot will do that to you, Chris.
But hey, Usyk got answers, man. If he doesn't have answers in the ring, he got that ref in that back pocket. I'm just kidding. But hey, it's gonna be interesting for sure, man. Again, I think this would pin the two best pure heavyweight boxers we've seen in a long time. When I think of pure like heavyweight boxers, I think of an Ali's, I think of Larry Holmes, those kinds of guys. Mike Tyson wasn't that guy. Mike Tyson was just a brute, come forward force, destruction. He had some elements of a boxer because of custom auto, but he completely abandoned those and he became just a ferocious machine. After that, I think we have two pure boxers, something you don't really ever see in the heavyweight ranks.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. Just don't make us wait too long. We know you guys are gonna do it. It's just don't make us wait too long, man. Come on. There's no time to marinate.
Do you think Fury Usyk can rank up there among those huge fights of heavyweight boxing when you think about Muhammad Ali, when you think about George Foreman, Larry Holmes, Frazier, all those guys? Do you think if Usyk and Fury get it on, can they have such a great fight or such an impactful fight to have their names mentioned among those guys? We talked Spence, Crawford. I never believed it was going to be up there like the guys they were mentioning, right? Tommy Hearns, Duran, all those guys. But in this one, I think it's a possibility, Chris, that if they do give us a memorable fight, that we can begin to mention them among the greats. I
think so. I think both Tyson Fury and Usyk have something that only the elite have, and they have that mental fortitude that they can. I think they've gone through life through so much stuff that people don't know that they had to overcome that carries into the boxing ring. My first moment that I saw that with Tyson Fury inside the ring was when he was dropped by Wilder. He could have just stayed down. He could have been like, I'm not getting up. I'm too dizzy. My legs are gone. But something inside his psyche, inside his heart, inside his brain made him get up. So I'm like, that's one tough dude. Like, he had to overcome so much stuff in life for him to be, able to get up from that and continue and do what he did to Wilder that round. And Usyk, with the whole war going on, he's got a lot of that as well. I think this was a moment where he's all like, he could have succumbed to more body shots if Dubois were to dig deep, but he was able to muster some added gears. I think these two guys have the most gears of any heavyweights in this division. When you think of Wilder, you think Andy Ruiz. Those are good matches to make. Those are fun. Those are names, but they're not at the level that these guys are at. So yeah, I think we could get a classic. Will I put the house on it the way I thought we were gonna get a classic with Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence? No, because one guy can maybe blow out the other guy, and But I do believe that they're very, very close when it comes to skills and mental fortitude.
Now, if Usyk would have been stopped, terrible year for Ukraine. The Lomachenko controversy, if their remaining champion, the champion, right, Usyk, was stopped by Dubois. Oh, man. That would have been terrible for the morale of the Ukrainian people, right? But, yeah, that would have been disastrous.
This probably would have been that would have been the upset, should have been the upset of the year, but it is what it is.
Let me ask you this. If we get one Fury Usyk, do you think we can get 2 or 3?
I believe that fight is going to be a lot closer than Errol Spence to Terrence Bud Crawford. And that was one of my hopes after that first one. I was like, hey, there's a chance. You always hope for like a rematch because you always hope that they're close enough where they're warranted a rematch because it was so good. You always want those Gaddy awards, where it's those kinds of fights where it warrants, trilogy. So I don't want to get too overexcited, but that's a dream. That's a dream to get multiple fights that are that competitive and so close and at the highest levels. So yeah, man, I'd like to get some Lomachenko Haney again. I thought that fight was close, and I think those kinds of fights before Haney gets too big or moves up, or before Loma, ages out, those fights deserve like rematches and maybe even trilogies.
Yeah, 100%, Chris. And talking about heavyweights, talking about legendary heavyweights, the greatest of all time, man. His grandson now fighting, kind of moving on from this Usyk Dubois controversy. Didn't float like a butterfly, didn't sting like a bee, Chris. First loss for Nico Ali Walsh. Are you surprised, or did you see this coming eventually?
I mean, I've never been too high on Nico Ali Walsh's skills. I love the story. I love that he's following in his grandpa's footsteps. It's always extremely hard to live up to any kind of hype of any legend, not just Muhammad Ali. Anybody that comes before you, that you're trying to make your own pathway. It's tough. I eventually thought that he was, gonna lose when he got up to those levels. I just didn't think it was gonna happen this quick or this soon. I'll be honest, I didn't see this match. I just heard it in the news. Oh, grandson of the legend, loses. I'm like, damn, like it's not supposed to happen until a little bit later if you're really, about it. So not surprised. Wish would have happened a little bit later, but again, I'm not sure the opponent level like he had in front of him. Did you see the match, Gio? What did you think of it?
I didn't bother. I didn't want to be disappointed. I feel like I've watched all his fights though. I missed this one. Didn't watch the replay. Shout out to our guy Jess and his son Jess. I was out there in that amateur event, so I didn't get to watch the fights live. When I saw Nico Ali Walsh lost, I didn't go back to it. But his opponent was 7-1, Chris, and he lost a majority decision. He if you look at his record, it's not like he was fighting terrible guys. It's not like he was fighting guys with 10 losses, right? I only see one guy that was 13-9. In his pro debut, the guy was 4-1. Next guy was 1-0. Next guy was 6-0. Other guy was 1-1. So on and so forth. You get the idea. It's not like he was fighting terrible opponents, right? But yeah, I agree with you. I'm surprised it happened this early. I was starting to believe, Chris. I was starting to believe, and I was rooting for Nico, man. Obviously, any relatives of legends, always get that criticism. In my opinion, unfair criticism. They don't choose the name. They don't choose to be born into that family, right? But look, he chose to box. I think he knew he would get all that scrutiny. Now with the loss, of course, I'm sure he took a lot of criticism. And, man, we'll see. I was actually, like, every time they announce his name on the undercards, we actually mentioned it, too, on this podcast, I think. We're like, hey, Nico's fighting, I would watch the fights. But with this loss, Chris, I'm not looking forward to his next fight, I'll be honest.
Yeah, first of all, he's a likable guy. He's a nice kid, good personality. Like, he's very respectful, very self-aware of who, the criticism and all that comes along. Very self-aware. It's just tough because, again, if Ali was not his grandpa, he probably wouldn't get these chances. But at the same time, he wouldn't get these criticisms. He'd probably be like a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Oh yeah, that Nico kid, he's good. He's a solid fighter. But again, it's because of that, that name recognition. People are gonna be like, you know what, it's not it, kid. But yeah, I mean, also what happens? He is talented. It's just we don't know if he's gonna be a contender, let alone a champion one day. That's what people always expect. If you're following in the footsteps of somebody before you, that was something in the sport. But we'll see what happens, Gio. Is it too soon to match him up with Jake, or do we give some time?
Do it now.
Do it.
Do it now. If he does not beat Jake Paul, then leave boxing, please. That would be his big test. If he can be a YouTuber who's now taking boxing serious, do it now. That fight will sell, man. That's a great fight. I have never thought about that one, Chris. Make it happen.
Yeah. Two big boys, man. Hey. Get one for grandpa. But yeah, and if he loses, there goes the Chavez Jr. door, man. It's owned by the boxing community forever. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, I like Nico Ali as a person. I think he's a good kid. I'm just not sold on his, if he's going to be a champion or even a contender. I'm not sold on that yet. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how he bounces back.
Heavyweight action that night as well on ESPN Top Rank. F.A. Jogba won by DQ, Chris. Too many low blows. Zan Kozabuski. Now, I was looking forward to this fight. He was fighting the Kazakh fighter listed as 6'3", 34 years old. This is what stood out to me. 19 wins, only one loss. 19 wins, 18 knockouts. So I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be a good fight. At the end of the day, DQ. I mean, those fights I feel like are always disappointing, man. That to me, that's a way of quitting.
Yeah.
You're throwing those illegal blows and the referee tells you to stop and you continue to do it. In my eyes, you're quitting.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, and we've been looking forward to Apes since we know that he's quote unquote like a Wilder type. He just got that big power. He's been getting nothing but knockouts. He had that loss against your boy, right? The Cuban Flash, and it seemed like he disappeared for a little while after that. Just rebuilding himself, reestablishing himself. So. Maybe not a way we wanted him to be reintroduced, but hopefully he bounces back because those knockouts were tremendous. So we'll see what happens with that. He's got power. I kind of call him the Wilder 2.0, but he's yet to prove himself against actual top opposition. But yeah, man, any names like that can pack a punch and that have power are always interesting in the heavyweight division. So. Hopefully he gets back to that track. But
and look,
yeah, man.
Look, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight against the guy who headlined, Jared Anderson, Big Baby, who got another stoppage against Rudenko, Ukrainian. He said he didn't really get the chance to train like he wanted. Jared Anderson was just attacking the body. I like to see him against better opponents too. Anderson against Ajagba, to me, is an interesting fight. They're fighting on top rank. Why not?
Yeah.
Is Anderson ready? We'll have to wait and see. He's very skilled, but like you said, Ajagba, very, very dangerous puncher. So to me, that's a fight right there.
That's a good fight. And I think I told you before, I think I messaged you before. Anderson, very interesting fighter, very skilled fighter, fast, mobile for a heavyweight. Not the biggest fighters, but, again, very, very good size, very good agility for a heavyweight. Good punch, good skills, good personality. I like his ring up walks. He's an entertainer. He reminds me a lot of Anthony Joshua when Anthony was first coming out. He initially was on Top Rank before he went back home with the UK and Matchroom and all that. But he's giving me some, those similar vibes where he's just winning, carefully, being brought up by Top Rank. Eventually, he's going to have to get in there and take a risk with the top 10s. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if he either, we'll finally see if his tin is chested. We'll finally see if he can, match up, with the conditioning of the bigger, the top 10s, if his power carries, if he's able to, to really crack the top 10. But he's an interesting guy, an American fighter. It's always great for the heavyweight division that there's an American, well-spoken and understandable kind of fighter that brings action to the division. So I'm high on him. I'm not sure if he can crack, but again, we're there to be told wrong. So we'll see, man. He's good for the division for sure.
I agree. And Elda says, did you guys see Nikita Zhu? I personally did not. He also says, I thought Kozabuski and Wood give a good fight. I saw some of his previous fights, and he's a body snatcher. But here, he was breaking balls intentionally. And like I said, man, that's disappointing to me, man. If that's looking for a way out. That's a way of quitting, in my opinion. But anyway, man, I feel like good heavyweight action. Obviously, the controversy of the low blow or quote-unquote low blow, whatever you want to call it, obviously took all the headlines. But this is good for boxing, Chris. The crowd was hyped.
Again, it was a great match. Controversy, any kind of controversy, whether you like it or not, it gets people talking, and it's got us talking. It's got the fans talking. It makes it more interesting. It makes Usyk more vulnerable. It makes maybe that Tyson Fury fight more doable. So at the end of the day, everything is still according to plan. We'll see what happens in 6 months. We'll see if they do a rematch for Dubois. We'll see if they don't. But I just want to see these heavyweights get the ball rolling. Again, it's the red carpet's already been put out for 2023, man. We've already had an exceptional 6-7 months. I just want to see this keep going, man. Again, these are the big boys. The heavyweight division really tells where boxing is as a whole. So this is the time for them to bring that back up. And so, man, hopefully we get an announcement soon, whether it's Wilder, whether it's Fury, whether it's Usyk, whether it's Joshua. Hopefully, once they take their vacation time off and, the weeks pass by, we get announcements of fights to come, man. Because, man, we need this. We need the heavyweights to get it on.
And look, there's some heavyweight action this next month, actually, Chris. In London, ESPN, Zhilei Zhang against Jojo is the rematch. So that's more heavyweight action for you. September 23rd, live from London. And I'm going to go ahead and read real quickly what's coming up because there's more action there in England. Manchester, September 2nd, ESPN Plus, beefy Liam Smith, the rematch against Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, if you guys remember, Liam Smith stopped Eubank Jr. last time, which was a shocker, right? I think a lot of us were asking, why are you fighting Liam Smith, right? Guy's close to retiring. Why are you fighting that guy? But anything could happen in boxing, Chris.
That was a lose-lose, man, for Eubank Jr. Like, he just made himself look bad. He made Liam Smith look like $1 million with that one, dude. Like, I was like, damn, Liam Smith is this good? Dang, like.
Shout out
My
to Beefy.
goodness.
Shout out to Beefy, man. Shout out to Liverpool. But I know Eubank was saying, oh, he hit me with an elbow, and he was making excuses. He said he hit me with an elbow, and that threw me off. I saw him get put to sleep, man. He was out on his feet. That's what I saw. Let's go,
Embarrassing.
mate.
I've never seen Beefy look fast, and like again, he made him look good. Like
It looked like it was going to be a stoppage. Chris
yeah,
Eubank was hopping on him, and then Beefy caught him with a good punch. That was it. I mean, after that, he never recovered. But yeah, shout out to Beefy, man. Resurrection there. Didn't he defeat Jesse Vargas as well?
I think so.
My
my
man.
god, fighter of the year. I'm just
He defeated Jesse Vargas, I think maybe a year or two ago. But yeah, that's going to happen again September 2nd, Manchester, England, ESPN. Plus, Michaela Mayer is also on that card. September 15th, Mexican Independence Weekend. This is a Friday, Corpus Christi, Texas, ESPN Plus. Our boy, El Venado, Luis Alberto Lopez against Joet Gonzalez. He's defending his IBF title. Lopez, Xander Zayas on that undercard. Jermaine Ortiz on that undercard. Robson Conceição on that undercard. Emiliano Vargas on that undercard. So they're stacking that up, Chris. Mexican Independence Day or Independence Weekend, Friday, September 15th, Corpus Christi, Texas.
¿Qué más quieres?
Ahí estamos. We'll be watching that for sure. Let's see what else we got. Commerce Casino the next day, September 16th, Commerce, California. DAZN. William El Camarón Cepeda, Mercito Gesta, and Yocasta supposed to be on that card as well. So definitely we'll try to go to that one. I mentioned the London, September 23rd, Zilei Zhang against Joe Joyce, ESPN. I think this one recently got announced. Richardson Hitchens against Jose Cepeda. Orlando, Florida, September 23rd, DAZN, Jessica McCaskill on that undercard. Austin Ammo Williams also on the undercard against Steve Rolls. So stepping up in competition now, Ammo.
Nice.
September,
I was wondering what happened to Ammo. Okay.
September.
He coming back.
Yeah, September 30th, of course, Showtime pay-per-view. This one's heating up. I think people are putting more respect on it, Chris. Canelo against younger Charlo. And then they've started announcing some of that undercard. Jesus Ramos Jr. against Erickson Lubin. Good fight. Jordanes Ugas against Mario Barrios. Good fight. That's for vacant WBC interim belt. Not like that matters, but that fight is going on. And then Elijah Garcia against Armando Resendiz. And that's what September is looking like. But yeah, from what I've noticed, I think people now are saying, hey, maybe Charlo has a chance, man. Maybe Charlo can surprise many people.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've talked about who is the more deserving Charlo based on the Canelo criteria of, just fight everybody, fight anybody at this point, to be deserving of the paycheck. I mean, 3 years ago, I would have said bigger Charlo, fast forward 3 years. Little Charlo is the one that's been cooking. So obviously, is he favored? No, he's a smaller, bigger guy. I mean, smaller because of the weight that he fights in at 154 against Canelo's 168/160. But he's a tall guy, taller fighter than Canelo. He's even though he's slender, he's got a bigger build. So we'll see how he comes come fight night. But hey man, he's got nothing to lose. Honestly, it's the biggest payday of his career. He's not losing his belts. He's got a chance at Canelo's belt. So he's gotta feel good, but he's gonna definitely go against a top 5 pound for pound fighter, and he's gonna learn their levels. But we'll see, man. I think it'll be competitive up until it's not. So yeah.
We'll get into that. We got some time. We got about a month, Chris. It's August 29th. September 30th, that fight is. So We'll be breaking that down as we get closer. We got one last comment/question. Chris, pick your favorite fighter. Let's see if I'm reading this right. Say his name and the words you would say after a big win.
Say my favorite fighter?
Yeah, let's say your favorite fighter had a big win. What would you say to them if they were right in front of you? I think I'm
talking about current fighter or
current. Let's say current.
Okay. My current favorite fighter.
Hey, you know, I know exactly what I would say, Chris.
For yours or for mine?
For mine. I'll do mine first.
Okay, do yours first and I'll do mine.
I would say, Canelo, hazlo un hijo a mi vieja. Remember that video? Oh, that video.
That was
top 5 videos of all time. That's what I would say. Canelo, hazlo un hijo a mi vieja.
That's how you know Canelo es paisita de corazón. Because if it was somebody speaking English, he doesn't give a fuck. But como el compita era bien paisita and that shit was comedy, you know, you gotta cheer for that. That's a good one, man. I don't think I could top that. That's pound for pound.
I thought you were gonna say Usyk, I'm very feel too, or something like that.
I'm not very feel after this, but it's between Usyk or Terrence Bud, to be honest, right now.
Ooh. I'm gonna grab the butt face right now.
Don't get the butt face. Okay, I'm gonna just say now for right now, Bud. Even though Usyk's my boy, I rather die with Usyk, man. But I will tell Usyk something else later.
Oh,
but for
man.
Bud, if I see Bud, I'd be like, shit, man, you made me look like a genius, man. I would have said, yo, Bud, that was dirty, man. What you did, that was crazy. Crazy.
Man, I thought you were gonna, keep it real and be like, Usyk, that wasn't low.
I'll be like, Usyk, ¿qué pasó, Usyk? ¿Qué pasó?
Hey, you know what? I'll go to Inoue though, and I'll be like, arigato.
Oh.
And then he'll probably say something I don't understand back. And that would be
real.
the end of that combo.
For sure. Our favorite fighters, for sure. I mean, I think right now, I think United fighters that we both respect and like. Obviously, Canelo's there. Inoue's there. Who else is there? Oh, we do like Tyson, even though he's been a little.
Yeah.
He's been. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing reality, but we like Tyson Fury too. We do like him.
And,
who else do we like?
Alicia Baumgartner, but we can't say that name anymore in this podcast. Sorry.
Oh. She cool. We'll just leave it at that.
With that, I think it's time to get out of here.
Get out of here before we get in trouble.
Right. All right.
Let's go.
That's that. We'll be back. Nothing crazy going on this weekend. Obviously, we mentioned that beefy Liam Smith fight against Eubank Jr. And then El Venado after that. So we'll see. We'll be back soon. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you guys for voting as well. Let me mention that before we get out of here. Let me mention the results of that poll, of that Usyk Dubois controversy. If people thought it was a low blow or not. Question was it a legal or illegal blow? Illegal, 31%, Chris. Out of 270 votes. 31% say illegal. 69%, I'm not making that up, Chris. 69% say legal.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
The vast majority say that was a legal blow, man. But I'm sure people will be talking about this for a long, long time. Can't change the result. We'll see what's next for Usyk. We'll see what's next for Dubois after quitting yet again. And things better shape up in that heavyweight division, Chris. We've been waiting for it.
Waiting for it, man. We've been shelling out our money all year, man, and we've done it willingly, man. You guys have been giving us the fights that we wanted, the fights that we thought we would never get. So we don't mind investing in the sport that we love, when it's done right. So again, our money's here to be taken. I think I speak for everybody in the comment section. As long as those fights are right, as long as the best get in there with the best, we're more than willing to. I don't want to say spend our money. I want to say support the sport of boxing. So Yeah, man, we're here, man. Just make these fights happen. Don't make us wait too long. Don't make the fans, the people that love this sport, wait too long, man. These fights have to happen. The Joshua, the Wilders, the Furies, the Usyks, man. Make it happen. We're waiting on the big boys. That's it.
Let's go, mate. I'm very few.
Vámonos.
Let's go, mate. See you guys soon. Thank you.
Alicia, call me.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Ropes.